What's going on, guys? So this is something kind of new. Oh, actually, to get introduction started, you already know who it is. It's the man with the beard, the man with the hat, and the beard. It's me, boy. It's me, boy. It's me, your boy Bruticus here. Anyway, this is gonna be something kind of new that I wanted to do for a while, and it's gonna be kind of these short stories that I've had in my life, or just things that I've done at work, or just kind of overall. I did do a little bit on my Snapchat. I would just Snapchat what I was, after work or something. And I call them after shift synopsises, right? So I'm not always going to talk about what happens at work. I'm not just going to talk about what happens in my life. Well, obviously I'm going to talk about things that happen in my life. But I'm going to talk about, things that happen in my life, just not about work. So they're not necessarily after shift synopses. I don't know how to say it. They're just going to be Marshall's awesome short stories, right? Mass. All right, that's it. So today for you, the very first one of its kind. It's going to kind of be one that I did tell these to some of my coworkers. So for the longest time, now you can't tell anybody about this. Can't even share it. You have to, here, breathing, come in closer. Don't tell anybody about this. Don't do it. Okay? Finger. All right, pinky promise. Pinky promise? Pinky promise. Okay. So for the longest time, when I was younger, I didn't think that snakes had feet. For the longest time. Or, I didn't think that snakes didn't have feet. I thought they had feet, right? I thought everything had feet besides fish and not fish, right? That's essentially my categories for the animal kingdom. It was like things that have feet, things that don't have feet. Fish, no fish, right? Because that's what I thought, right? I just, I thought there's no way that this little wriggly, scaly looking ugly thing is writhing on the ground, just a bunch of muscles like, oh yeah, ooh, I'm gonna get you, ooh, I'm so angry, ooh, look at me perch up, oh, whoosh, look at me flare out my neck, oh, I'm so angry, right? I didn't think that, right? I thought they had some sort of feet or something underneath them that helped them move. So for the longest time I thought that. And it didn't happen until 9th or 10th grade until something along the lines kind of happened. So I'm going into class one day, and we're learning about animals, right? So we had like our animal plant science, and we had aqua science. I think aqua science. I don't know. Right? We had animal and plant science. So we're learning about snakes and how they eat food and how they digest. And then sometimes they just can't digest everything and they barf. Okay? Right? I think that's what it is, right? They can't digest bones. Maybe that's owls. Maybe I'm thinking of owls. Whatever. We're talking about snakes in the class, okay? And so we're going there, and the teacher is talking about how snakes have all these muscles, right? They're very muscly creatures because they rely on it. If you look at the python, what does it do? It wraps itself around its enemy, and then it squeezes it, and it dies, right? All right? And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So the teacher is going on with his, his lesson, teaching us all about these things, about the snake, and they're essentially, muscles and then bones and whatever the mouth is, right? Some probable cartilage. And so I'm sitting there, and we're looking in the book, and I'm looking up at him, and I'm looking at the book, and I'm looking up at the whiteboard, and I'm looking up at the projector, right? And something's just not clicking. I'm sitting there and thinking, this doesn't make sense. So, what does any inquisitive student do? Well, I raised my hand. He calls on me. He goes, Marshall. I go, where are the feet? And he just looks at me. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, where are the feet? Snakes have to have feet. There's no way that this thing is just sitting there wiggling on the ground. Like, there's no way. Where are the feet? I think this illustration is wrong. And he's like, Marshall, snakes don't have feet, bud. They are all muscle. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. You ever seen a snake move? It's like running across the seas or sands and things like that. You ever seen a snake do that? It's gotta have feet. There's no way that it's just a pile of muscles rolling around on the floor. I mean, throw us down there. What's gonna happen? We're gonna sit there and be like, I can't move. I can only log roll. I'm trying. Right? There's no way. And he just looks at me, not in disgust, not in anguish, but he just looks at me confused. he looks at me, and I know that he knows that I'm crazy. I'm not really crazy, but I know that he knows that we're thinking the same thing. He's like, how the hell is this kid in my class? This kid is literally sitting here in 9th grade telling me snakes have feet. Boy, we need to call Disney Channel. We need to call Discovery Planet. We need to call Planet Earth. We need to call National Geographic. We need to call all of those great publications and media and tell them snakes have feet. And he just looks at me and he's so confused. Because I tell you, I believe this 100%. I was looking at him. He could see the passion in my eyes that snakes had feet. I mean, could you imagine that, right? I mean, just visualize what a snake is today, right? It's actually a bunch of muscles, right? But then think about it. If a snake had feet, would it look like a millipede? Would they be coming out of his sides like, right? Or would they just be right underneath it? So like, I just didn't understand that snakes didn't have feet. And the class isn't even laughing. The class, there's sometimes where there's jokes and people are laughing, right? Or somebody says something stupid, but one, they said something stupid on purpose to get a laugh, or two, they said something so stupid, but it's not past that point, right? It's not past that little threshold of like, it's stupid, but it's funny. But then they pass that threshold, and you're like, oh, this kid actually doesn't know, right? I was at that threshold. I was past that threshold. I was like, poof, I hit the wall, right? I'm on the one side of the classroom, poof, and then I hit the other side of the classroom with that question. And so the kids are looking at me like, this kid thinks that snake have feet. This kid thinks that snakes have feet. How does a python kill things? It wrapped things up. If it had feet, it couldn't wrap things up. Now, could it? No. So, class ends. I'm grateful that class ended and the bell rang. Saved by the bell. So class ends, and it's dead quiet. Everyone gets up, packs their stuff up, and walks out the door, right? Going to our next class or lunch or whatever. And the teacher pulls me aside and he goes, Marshall. Snakes don't have feet. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. What? It's just a pile of muscles on the ground? He's like, yes, that's all it is, Marshall. They don't have feet. They don't got shoes. They don't have sneakers. They don't have anything, Marshall. They don't have feet. I'm like, well, that's dumb. Why didn't God give them feet? Why didn't whoever created snakes give them feet? I mean, to be entirely honest, I think it'd be really hilarious now if snakes had feet. And he just looks at me. And I can see that my question about snakes having feet, why don't they have feet? And I thought that they had feet. I could see the answers to the universe unlocking inside of his eyes with that question. I said, why don't snakes have feet? The universe expanded. The sun came up. The darkness left. The world and meaning to life had been blessed upon this man because I had asked him, why don't snakes have feet? And he stared at me blankly for a good couple 3-4 minutes. Just. He said, have a good day. And that's it. He just stood there. He had his papers in his hand from when we turned in for our homework. And I said, okay, you too. Walked out the class, and he just stood there, holding papers. The whole time. So yeah, that is my first story for you. I straight up thought snakes had feet. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want more of these, let me know. If you don't like them, then I'll stop doing them. But hey, gotta try something new sometimes. But yeah, think about that, guys. If snakes had feet, just think about that. All right, guys. Catch you later. Peace.